They brought the light and I've pressed it open. So please, if you can hear me, just let me know. Please just let me know so that I'm sure that I'm not talking to myself alone. Okay, so in our previous life, just like this is for those that are just joining us, we already cut and we have stitched to a level this kaftan, this bubu kaftan is a short kaftan. So and then never took the light, so I had to stop. So right now I've gone ahead to press the neckline. This is our V neckline. You can see it came out really beautiful, and I pressed this side too. Everything is coming out well, so you can see our hemming allowance. For the sleeves also, I have top stitched the opening. So in case you didn't join us in the previous live, just go ahead and watch it. You will understand what we have done. So this is our sleeve. I've also ironed the ashoke to it, and then this is our back piece. You can see I pressed the neckline, the hem, everything is well pressed, and I went ahead to press the zip allowance of 1 inch, which is what I added. Okay, so now this is what I'm going to do. At the hem here, I'm going to pin the down part. You want to make sure that it is well aligned. So you can see already I've ironed my 1 inch for zip allowance. So I'm going to stitch from the hem and stop a little, just a little above the hip line, so I can stop around here. The zip I'm going to be using is 24 inches zipper. So let's just measure from here. That's from the neckline. It's measuring from the neckline down to 21 inches. So this is where my zipper, from the neckline to 21 inches, that's where I'll have the zipper. So I'm going to stitch close this part. So like I said, the second phase of this video is going to be very fast. We are almost done with this. So let's just quickly stitch up so that we can round up. Okay, so I'm going to take off my pin, and then I'm going to make a back stitch here at the beginning. So back stitch just means to fortify your stitch so that it's strong. And then I'm going to stitch it this way. You see, I'm making sure I'm stitching on that 1 inch. That's the crease line. The crease line already, my iron already formed. So I'm going to stop here. So just fortify and then take it off like this. So I haven't stitched it. This is what I have. So I'm going to sew my zipper now to the center back. Can you see? So this is what I have. So I'll be stitching the zipper to the center back here. So remember I said the zipper is 24 inches. So I'll allow some part of the zipper just come down. Can you see? And then the excess will come up here. So first I'm going to pin the zipper to the center back. Please make sure that the zipper, the midpoint of the zipper, this part, the zipper opening, make sure it's aligning with the center. That's where you have your stitch here. Take note that I came down with about 1.5 inches before placing the zipper head. That's this end here. Okay, so I'll open it up like this and pin. Just pin. So by pinning it to make it easy for you to sew on the 1 inch crease line that I have here. That's the zip allowance I've already ironed. Can you see? So then I'm going to raise my footer up and place it. Now I'm using my normal machine footer. If you have an invisible zip footer, that's fine. You can just change it at this point. But I'm using my normal machine footer. So I'm going to make sure that one leg of the footer, that's this one on the left, is on top of the zipper, so that I'll stitch close to the zipper opening. I hope that makes sense. So I'll go ahead and start stitching. So first I'm going to fortify, that's back stitch, and then I will stitch this way. So I'm making sure that one of the zipper leg is on top of the zipper opening, so that I can stitch really close. Okay, You know the funny thing, I couldn't even see your comments. I'm just getting started with this live stream. So I'm going to master it well and see how I can actually reply your comments. We were able to see a few of the comments when we were live, but when we went offline, I wasn't able to see the comments anymore. I don't know if that's how it works. Okay. So do we have any comments?
Yes.
Okay, please can you read it out?
Easy Joy is saying well done, ma.
Okay, thank you so much, Eze Joy. Thank you.
This one from Daniel.
Okay, Daniel Afam.
Just sending love.
Okay, thank you, Daniel Afam. Okay, so as you can see, I'm done fixing one side of the zipper. And you see how beautiful and neat it is. So you want to make sure that you open up the zipper and be sure that you didn't stitch on the zipper itself. That's the zipper opening. And you see, and I haven't done that. So now I'm going to turn it this way so that I can stitch the other side. Okay, so I will pin this other side here.
Ma, Trust Vicky saying hi.
Okay.
Onyinye is also saying hi.
Thank you, Onyinye. Thank you, Trust Vicky. Thank you so much. I hope people are enjoying the live stream and you're learning. Please ask your questions if you have any questions. Okay, so as you can see, I've pinned my zipper to the other side as well. So now for this side, I'll have to start stitching from the upper part because this is now the left hand side, okay? Or this is the other side rather, so I'll need to start from up. So I'm just going to lift up my footer and then I'm going to place, just bring down your needle, make sure it lands close to the zipper cloth, not on the zipper opening itself. I hope we're understanding that. If you look at your zipper, you will understand exactly what I am saying. So I'm going to start with a back stitch first, and then I'm going to stitch, making sure I'm stitching on my zip allowance. So most times when you notice that you finish sewing your clothes and you don't have the actual allowance, or you have more than you are supposed to have, most times it comes from not stitching your zipper to the actual allowance that you added. So I added just 1 inch for my zipper allowance, so I'm stitching on that same 1 inch. So if you use more than that, you're likely going to have excess, so your cloth will not, your seam allowance will not be even. I hope we understand that. Okay, so take note that one leg of my footer is on top of the zipper, so the needle is just landing beside it. So like I said, if you have an invisible zip footer, it can make it, you don't have to do this one I'm doing it, to just stitch very close. For those that use invisible zip footer, they understand what I am saying. Okay, unfortunately my thread finished and I kept on sewing, so I have to, okay, it didn't finish, just cut. Okay, so now you can see my thread has cut. So because this cut, I'll have to go back a little. Can you see where this stops? I'll go back like 2 or 3 inches after the point where I stitch, and then re-fortify on it and stitch on top of it again. If you don't do this, if you just start immediately from the point where it cuts, your zipper is going to loose, okay, because the stitch was not fortified, it was not back stitched, okay. So I'm trying to stitch on top of the previous one, so that way it will not loose. Okay, so we're almost done with our zipper. Okay, so here we are. So I'm going to take off my thread. Just make sure to always cut out any excess thread you have. So this will help your work to always look neat. So this is what the zipper looks like on the right side. You see? So let's open it up. So once your zipper is hooking, it means you stitched on top of the zipper, but you can see mine is not hooking anywhere. Okay? So the next thing we're going to do is to fold the zip. That's the excess zipper we have here. So I'm just going to fold it this way. And you see? Just open up the zipper and fold this way. And then I'll stitch down. So now I have the zipper, that's the excess zipper at the back here. This is a very neat way to sew it, especially if you are not doing inseam finishing. Can you see I've stitched my zipper? I'll repeat the same thing on this side. So I'm just going to fold it backwards like this also. Okay, so this is what we have. Okay, so this is what our zipper looks like. And you see, very neat. You don't have to top stitch your zipper here. My seam lines, my stitches are inside, so you can see how neat the back is. So now the next thing to actually do is to give this a very good press so that the zipper is well relaxed. But I'm going to join the shoulders of the front and back together, fix the sleeve so that I can press them together so that our video can be fast. Okay, so now this is our back, this is our front. Now you can see I'm going to place the shoulders together like this so that they are well aligned, and then lining facing lining. Can open up the zipper so it makes it easy. So pressing the zipper will actually help you so that all this hooking is hooking. By the time you press it, it will be very smooth. I always tell people, if you have not been pressing your zipper, try doing it. You will enjoy, you will thank me later. Okay, so to join the shoulders, can you see lining facing lining like this? So next I'm going to hold the lining here and then flip the Ankara to the right side here. You see, very simple. Just flip the Ankara. So fabric facing fabric, lining facing lining, and then I'll stitch on 1/2 inch. Okay, so I will stitch on 1/2 inch. Okay, so here we are. So after stitching on 1/2 inch, I'm just going to trim out my excess. But now, for a beginner, please check and be sure that the shoulder is sitting well. And you see, check and be sure it's sitting well before you go ahead and trim out the excess. For mine, you can see it's sitting really well. Everything is well aligned. Can you see what I have? So, and this is what it looks like on the reverse side, that's the lining side. You can see it is neat. So I will repeat the same thing for the other side of the shoulder. So I'll also flip it fabric facing fabric, lining facing lining. You can use your pin to just hold it down, just like I'm doing, so that it doesn't shift. This part, most people find it difficult, turning shoulders, but once you master it, it is really simple. Okay? So now you can see my pin is still there. So I'll take it off. So I'll place my needle to come down. So once I know that my needle is holding the fabric, I'll take off my pin. Then drop it this way, drop my presser foot down, and then I'll go ahead and make my stitch. Okay, so this is it. So now I'll trim out the excess, just reduce it. You don't want it bulky around that part, you just want it to sit very flat. Can you see what I have here? It's coming out beautiful. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is to sew the sleeve. So this is our sleeve. I'll go ahead and notch the middle and then place it this way. Right side of the sleeve facing right side of the armhole. So just pin it this way. Okay, so I can start stitching from here. You can see the sleeve aligned. So I can start stitching from the middle here. So I'm going to stitch on the half inch, which is what I added to the shoulder when we were drafting. So this is my half inch. Can you see? I'm stitching. I started from the middle. So stitching from the middle just has a way of making you follow the curve well. There's nothing wrong with starting from one side and then starting from the other side and stitching all the way to this side. But I will always show us the easiest way to go about it. Okay? So you can see we have stitched one side of our sleeves. So I'm going to flip to the other side like this. So we'll start our stitch from where we started the previous one. So let's fix our thread. My thread keeps cutting. Okay, so here I'm going to place it this way. So I'll arrange my sleeve well. You want to make sure that you don't have any part gathering. Just make sure to arrange it very well. Okay, then I'll drop it. Then make sure that I target where the previous stitch was, where it started from. Can you see? So I'll stitch on that line. Just stitch a little bit on it, like half inch, and then go ahead and start stitching to the other side. Okay, so this is me stitching. And see, because we took an accurate measurement of the armhole, so you can see the sleeve fits into the armhole. There is no excess. So if you don't measure it, you're likely to have shortage or excess. You see? So this is what our sleeves looks like. You see we have our sleeve fixed already. So I'm going to repeat the same thing for the second side. It is either you weave this. For me, I'm going to weave it, but in a situation where you don't want to weave or you don't have a weaving machine, just cut a strip of fabric from your Ankara fabric. Just use it to turn this part, okay? Or you use your bias, that's our normal store-bought cutting bias. Just use it to finish up this part. It will not make sense that a dress that is neatly turned like this, you leave the armhole like this, it will not be good, okay? So for me, I'm going to weave mine. So I'm going to fix the second side of the sleeve. So do we have any comments? Do we have any questions? And please, if you can hear me, if you're watching me, just tell me where you're watching me from. Tell me where you're watching me from and tell me if you are enjoying this video. Let me know if this video is helpful. And tell me if you want me to come online again. That's come live. I will come, whether you say I should come or not, but just let me know. Okay, so we're stitching the other side of the armhole. There, we don't have any comments. Okay. You don't have? Okay. Okay, so this is the second side of our sleeve. Like I said, I would like us to press everything together so that live video is not too long.
Matros VB Kitchen is saying, I don't have weaving machine.
You can use, if you don't have a weaving machine, you can just use your bias to clean up the armhole. You can use your bias to clean up the armhole or cut from the Ankara. That one even gives it a very stylish look. Cut from the Ankara, just use it to turn the armhole. That's this seam allowance here. Okay, I'm going to show us how we turn the armhole. Maybe we should even do that instead of using the weaving machine so that people that don't have weaving machines will learn how to do that. I'll just show us that I will weave mine. Okay, so I'm going to pin the armhole here. You, thank you. That's, what did you say her name is? Trust Vicky. Thank you, Trust Vicky. Thank you so much. I appreciate. Thank you. Okay, so I'm pinning the armhole. You want to make sure all the points are well aligned.
Okay, well, Trans Vicky also said, okay, thanks for showing. You said you're going to show them.
Okay, so now it's time for us to fix our pockets. So these are the pockets. Remember, we cut out 4 pieces. I said 2 will be for the right and the other 2 will be for the left. Okay, so this is it now. To sew the pockets to a gown or to our gown, from the shoulder here, I'm going to measure down to the waistline. And the waistline I used is 16 inches. So from shoulder to waistline, can you see? I'm measuring from the tip of the shoulder to 16 inches. And this is it here at this point. Can you see that? So I'm going to also mark the same point on the front side here. Can you see I'm marking the same point on the front side here? So now I'm going to place the pocket. I have 2 of the pockets now. This is the right side of the fabric and this is the left side of the fabric. So I will place it like this. Right side of the pocket facing right side of the gown. And you see I'm making sure that it aligns with the point where I marked. This my mark, this 16 inches mark I have here. So I'm pinning it to the right side. Can you see? I pin to the right side and this is it. So I'll repeat the same thing on the other side. That's the front side of the gown. I'll make sure it aligns here also. Right side facing right side. And then I will pin. So like I said, I have already woven my pockets. So it is already neat. You can see I've woven it, so I don't want to leave it with and so that it doesn't fray. Okay? So now I'm going to stitch this pocket now. Take note, it's on the right side facing right side. I will stitch it on 1/2 inch down to where the pocket stopped. So this is it here. So I'll stitch on half inch down, 12.45. So you see. So now I have the pocket this way. I'll repeat the same thing on this side. I will stitch on half inch. Okay, so this is what we have. So you can see this is what the two sides of our pockets now. Can you see? So remember I placed the right side facing right side. So now it can now come out this way. You see that the both of them are facing each other. That is why you want to make sure that you mark the points. You don't want any misalignment issues. And you see our pockets are aligned. So now I've brought it out this way. So exactly what I have done here is what I will do on this side. So I'm also going to measure the same thing, the same 16 inches. But a very simple way to do it, I'll just measure now from the armhole. That's from the down part of the armhole. So that means from this down part of the armhole to this point is 7.5 inches. So I will do the same thing on this side. So that they are all aligned. So I'm basically repeating the same thing. There's nothing special I'm doing on this side. It's the same thing.
Okay, but we have a comment
Okay.
from Simtrons Vicky. She said, I'm watching from Spain. I'm
Okay.
learning how to sew.
Oh, that's nice. Hi, Vicky. Hi. Thank you for joining my live stream. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm just basically pinning the pockets. Like I said, what I did on the other side is just what I'm doing. So this is a repetition. Repetition. Okay? So I'm going to stitch. Okay. So I'll do this side. Sorry, I'll have to thread my bobbin. Next time I'm going to make sure to thread like 4 bobbins so that you don't have to stop to thread bobbins.
Ma from Pete Okolo. He said, good afternoon, ma. Don't worry, I'll be joining your live stream when I have data. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Kate Okolo. Thank you. Kifi, please give me black bias. Let me use it to show how to tape it with your bias. Let's do that so that you can see it. Is it? Yes, and that's okay. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to stick the other side. Okay, so I have my pockets stitched on all the sides. So now let me show us how to use the bias to finish up your armhole. So in a situation where you have enough fabric, you can just cut your long strip of fabric. Measure the armhole. Make sure to measure the armhole so that the bias is not that you don't cut shorter. It is better to cut longer, then you trim out your excess. Okay, so you measure the armhole from one side, that's from here down. Just measure what you have from here to this end, so that when you're cutting your bias, you know what is going to be enough to go round. So you can see what I'm doing right now. I'm trimming out my excess so that I don't have excess. I don't have bulk of seam allowance on the armhole area. Okay, so I'm just reducing my seam allowance here. That's just basically what I'm doing. So here we are. So I haven't trimmed it out. So this is our regular store-bought bias that we buy from the market. We sell it 200 naira in my own local market here. So this is what we're going to do. Can you see what the bias looks like? And see, this is like a 3/4 inch bias. So it has 1/4 inch folded here. It has another 1/4 inch folded. So I'm just going to place it. Can you see? I'll place it very close to the tip, and then I'll be stitching on this 1/4 inch. There are two ways to this. You can either stitch first and turn it and top stitch, or you place it this way and stitch at once. Can you see? Just hold it this way so that you stitch once. But you have to be very careful. You must make sure that the stitch is reflecting on both sides. Can you see that? So let's try this. This will make it faster for us. So we'll stitch just once instead of stitching twice. So I'm going to place it this way and then back stitch here at the beginning. So make sure that your armhole is exactly at the middle of the bias. Can you see? So I'm just going to cover it up like this. Make sure you push away your fabric so that you don't mistakenly stitch on it. Arrange everything very well. Okay, so I'm opening it up. Just fold and then I'll stitch. This is so that we can stitch once instead of turning it, okay, instead of doing it twice. So we're using one stone to kill two birds.
Ma, from Kate Okolo, she said, so when and when will you be coming to live stream? Let
Okay.
us know.
I'm
We
going
need to
to
set alarm. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Kate Polo. I'm going to have to think about it. Like I said, today, I just made up my mind. So I'm going to look at my schedule and see which time is convenient. I have normal students in my place here, so I have to still teach them offline. So I'm just going to set my time and see which time is convenient for us, and I will let us know. Like for today, it was just an impromptu thing. I just decided to try it for the first time, and I think I'm enjoying it already. So I will make out time and let us know so that we know when we'll be coming on live. Thank you so much for asking. Thank you. Okay, so I'm just folding like this. So I'll keep sewing. Just make sure that you place the armhole, that's the seam allowance, in between the bias, just at the middle, and then stitch like this. Do you see?
Ma, she said, okay, thank you, ma.
Thank you so much, Madam Kate. Thank you. Okay, so I'm done stitching the bias. Can you see what our armhole looks like? So like I said, we just use one stone to kill two birds. You see how neat it is. So having a weaving machine or not having a weaving machine is not an excuse for anybody to do rough work. Can you see how my work is neat? Can you see? Very beautiful and neat. So I'm just going to repeat the same thing on the other side. So there's no need to talk again while doing this. So you can just keep sending in your questions if you have any.
Ma, Trust BB Kitchen is saying, wow, nice.
Okay, thank you. I hope you learned. I hope you saw it and you can actually try it. I would really love to see your practical. Since you said you're learning how to sew, are you going to be trying this out? If you will, please let me know and send me a picture so that I can see your beautiful practical. Thank you, Trust. I'm just reducing the bulk so that the seam allowance I have here. Okay, so here we are. So you can see I've also stitched the other side. So this is already very beautiful and neat. You can see what it looks like. So now, without wasting time, let's go ahead and join the sides. Then we'll take this to the pressing table and give this a very, very neat press. And then we'll wear it on the mannequin. I'm so excited. I want to see the outcome already. Okay, so make sure to pin this place, the sleeve opening here. Pin the armhole, make sure everything is aligned. Pin the armhole. Then pin the waistline where the pockets. And you see how I'm placing out, bringing out the pocket. So now the pocket is down, right side of the pocket is facing right side here. And here we are. So I'm also going to secure with my pin. The down part of the pocket, I'm going to repeat the same thing. Okay, so this is it here. And then I'm also going to pin the hem. And you see that everything is already well aligned. So we don't have any reason for misalignment issues, please. So just make sure that you pin. Use your pin so everything can sit well. Okay? So now I'm also going to pin the side of the pocket. Okay? So I'll go ahead and mark my sewing allowance. Remember I said I'll be stitching on just 1 inch. So I'm going to mark 1 inch, mark 1 inch, 1 inch. I'll make sure that I'm maintaining that 1 inch. 1 inch here. I'll cross over and come down to this part. 1 inch, 1 inch here as well. So I'll go ahead and connect my 1 inch markings. Just take it. I'll advise that you use your ruler so that the lines are not crooked, okay? So I'll mark 1 inch here too. And then I'll mark the same 1 inch here. Okay? So now this is it. The pocket opening, because we're going to have our pocket here. Can you see that this is where our pocket started from? This line here, this particular line. So from this line, I will come down by 1 inch. Can you see? So let's measure. From that line now, I'm coming down by 1 inch. Can you see? So this is our 1 inch. And then I'm going to take a turn this way. So while taking the turn, on this part is 1 inch. So as I keep going in, I'm just going to reduce it to ½ inch. Did you see that? So, and then I'll keep turning. And then here at this point where the pocket ends, I will also go up by 1 inch. That was why I said that you make sure that the pocket is wide enough, it's up to 9 inches. So now that mine is up to 9 inches, I'm taking out 1 inch here, I'm taking out 1 inch here, so I'm left with about 7 inches here. Can you see? So this is about 6.5 because already I've woven small out of it. So this is 6.5. So this is big enough for anybody's hand to enter inside. Okay. So this is the essence of making it up to that 9 inches. Can you see? So I'm going to stitch it this way. So this is basically it. Stitch this way and then all the way down to the end. So I'm going to mark the other side so that we can stitch them all at once together. Okay, so while we are pinning, do we have any question? Okay.
Ma, from Kate Okolo, she said, I need to stand on the streets and wash you
Because of what?
because on the streets,
Hmm.
so my data is finished. I cannot stay at home.
Okay, is it that they have a Wi-Fi on the street there? A hotspot on the street?
Ma, from Kate Okolo, she said, how many yards of fabric do you use?
It's 3 yards.
More strength, ma.
It's 3 yards I used. 3 yards, but you know that this depends on your size. This person I'm making this outfit for, her biggest measurement is 39 inches. So if your biggest measurement is 50 inches, okay, my own is 50 inches. It may be enough because I still have a leftover. This is just 3 yards I'm using to make this outfit. So this depends on your size. So if you don't want to have hair tie, if it's just a normal sleeve, it's fine. 3 yards will be enough to do this, but this depends on how big your hip or your bust is. Okay. Okay, so I've pinned the points. So I'll also mark my sewing allowance. So like I said, the same thing I did on the left is what I'll be repeating on the right. Okay.
Ma from Kate Okolo, she said, okay, thank you, ma. She also said, yes, my area, they have free network
Okay.
for outside.
Okay.
Although there is too much cold, rain is falling.
Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry. Okay. So I'm done marking out. So now it's time for us to stitch. So I'm going to start stitching from here, from the sleeve opening. I'll be stitching on one inch here. Just follow the shape gently, gently. Okay. And then I'm going to stitch this way. So I'm going to make a turn here. Can you see? So I'll lift up my presser foot and turn so I can stitch around the pocket this way. Just turn nicely. Turn this way. So here. Okay. So I'm going to make the turn here now.
Ma, from Kate Okolo, she said, please, everyone should like this video, please. Thank you.
Kate Okolo is my big fan. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And please share this video. If you share it to get to so many other people. So please, Madam Kate, kindly share, 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 share. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm getting towards the end. You want to make sure that it's aligned at the hem here. You don't want one longer than the other. So just keep it well and stitch very well. Okay, so as you can see, it is well aligned here at the hem. So you don't want to allow one side of your gown longer than the other. Please don't let that happen. So this is what we have. So I'm going to stitch this other side and then go press it.
Ma, from Kate Okolo, she said, yes, so I already shared it.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'm giving you a visual hug. Thank you so much, Kate Okolo. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. God bless you. So I'll make a turn here. Okay, so I'm just going to turn. Okay, so turn again. And you see that pinning your outfit actually help you so that everything will align very well. Don't mind all those people that say pins are for amateur. It's not true. The white people that made pins, they made it for us to be able to do our work neatly so that everything aligns. Have you ever seen a white man sewing and the clothes is not aligned? Most of the clothes we bought from the market or we buy from the market, even up till today, they are well aligned, neat and neatly tailored. You get? So right now we have come to the end of the stitching. So I'm going to take this to my pressing table, press it very well, and then I will wear it on the mannequin so that we can see the outcome of our work that I've been doing since morning. Okay?
How bad for your eye.
That's what I'm saying. So check, it should be there. Because I just removed only the red one now. Okay, so this is what our gown looks like on the right side. So I'm going to press this on the iron.
Okay, ma'am. Miss Chefotolo,
Hmm.
that is very nice of you. You finish one project one after the other. That is the best way. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kate, to follow. Please hold the iron. Give me, if you're near, please give me water. Let me put in the iron. Is the iron off? Okay. Okay. So I'm going to start first with the back. I forgot and I turned it out. I'll start with ironing the zip and the zipper. So make sure to press your zipper. So I'm just pressing it. Okay. So another way to iron, the best way to iron is iron the same way you stitched first. This will actually help it relax first before I press open your seam lines. Okay, so then next I'm going to press open the seam lines. So this way everything will relax well. So I'll press open this side. I'll do the same thing here. Okay. Then I'm going to turn it inside out now. And then I'm going to give it a very good press. You see? So here, so you can see where our pocket is. Just press it very well. So because I have already pressed from inside, so this will make pressing it from outside now a lot easier. So it will just relax. I don't have to over press. So you can also use your clapper if you have. The clapper is the wood. If you please bring our wood for ironing. Okay. So I'll press this way. So I can just use the clapper. So this will help. It just keeps it down very well. So the sleeve area here, just make sure it is well relaxed. In tailoring, one of the most important things is ironing. When you press your outfit very well, you will love the outcome. Okay? I'll press the other side. Okay? So I'll do the same thing on this side. Okay, so our gown is ready and it's beautiful. So I'm going to wear this on the mannequin so that we can see the final outcome.
Okay, Tokolo. The zip that you use, how many inch long for the zip?
I use 21 inches long. The zipper I use is 24 inches. So the zipper opening is 21 inches long. Okay, so I left some part of it under. You need to leave that. You need to put some part of it underneath the zipper joining. I hope that you understand what I'm trying to say. I showed us how to do it in the video. The zipper length is 24 inches, and then the zipper opening on the outfit is 21 inches. So some part of it is down. Can you see that some went down, and then some parts I folded it up here. Okay, so this is what our gown looks like. Please bring the hand of our mannequin. Okay, so this is it. You see, so this is what our gown looks like. So this is how it looks at the back, and you see our zipper is sitting very smooth. Give me scissors, please. So our zipper is sitting really relaxed at the back. You see, and this is what it looks like in front here. You see that this is really beautiful. This gown is simple and beautiful. I always say simple is enough. This is just so beautiful. Can you see? This is what we have. I hope the video is capturing it. Okay, so this is what we have. So this is the outcome of our live stream. You can see this gown came out beautiful. If you enjoyed this live stream and you learned something from it, let me know in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next one. Bye.